she even said, "Is Dad there?" And that sounded like something she might ask. I don't know. But it sounded very much like her.
Changing technology makes it easier to fall victim to scams. NBC4 Investigates viewers are reporting a variety of scams targeting them or their loved ones.
It's been 2 months since Columbus was hit with that massive ransomware attack, and while there's no way to confirm your information was included in the leak, it's serving as a reminder of just what bad actors can do if they get their hands on your information.
NBC4 Investigates Isabel Cleary spoke with one Central Ohio family who had a close call. And Isabel, how did the scammers make this seem so real?
Jen and Jared, it's all about your personal details, what makes you, you. And scammers are getting more creative with how they get that information. Any piece of information that can make a call, email, text seem more realistic and personalized. Stolen information about court cases you've been involved in, events you've attended can help bad actors guess passwords and break into your accounts if you are using an easy-to-guess password. However, with the growth of AI, these techniques are getting even harder to avoid.
Beverly Smith wasn't expecting a call that afternoon, but her phone rang, she recognized the area code, and she picked up.
It was a woman that sounded like my daughter, and she was in distress, and she said she'd been in an accident.
The caller said she was in jail and needed her mother's help.
She gave me a phone number to call her attorney, and so I got off the phone with her.
She was suspicious. Why didn't her daughter, Sharon Christie, call her husband? But Christie didn't pick up her cell phone when Smith tried her, so she called the number she was given.
He told me that they needed $20,000 to get her out, but I would get it back when she goes to this hearing. When she gets released, I would get it back.
She still felt uneasy, and that gut feeling ended up being correct.
A little while later, this woman calls back to find out, well, what did you find out? But she sounded totally different. She wasn't in distress anymore. She was kind of like giddy, like, oh, what'd you find out? And so then I knew for sure.
Smith hung up and finally heard back from her daughter, who of course was not in jail.
I don't know exactly how they got my voice, and I did have a voicemail that was my voice when callers call in, and so I've changed my phone so that it's an automated message.
Unfortunately, these scams are becoming more common. Experts NBC4 Investigates spoke with say scammers try to get any information they can to break into accounts, learn information, and extort you.
Fraudsters and bad actors have the technology where they can get on a phone call with, let's say, that woman's daughter. They can record her voice, run it through a system, and then use deepfake generative AI in order to make that voice say whatever they type or whatever they say.
Smith and Christie reported this call to the FTC and reached out to NBC4 Investigates. Smith lives in Carroll County and says she hasn't interacted with Columbus, but Christie has, through the court system and when visiting City Hall. They don't know if that's how their information was compromised, but they do know Smith was almost a victim.
You're in this emotional state like, oh my gosh, and you don't think that fast. It's hard to think fast, but after it was over, we got to thinking, well, we should have done this or should have done that.
Some techniques experts recommend include having a code word with your family members, so if someone calls and pretends to know you, they need to say the code word. Also, freeze and monitor your credit and bank accounts. Jen and Jared.
And so obviously, Isabel, scam, something that we both have talked about quite a bit. There are a lot of different ways that people can be targeted. So what are some of the other ways?
Yeah, that's right. And so one of the experts I spoke with in this story, actually, he was on the other side for a decade. He was a bad actor before he switched to help companies secure themselves against hacks. And he says it's not just about bank accounts. Bad actors want to get into any account, including Netflix. It's all about learning your personal information so they can make those phishing scams seem even more realistic.
Really personalized.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Be on guard, right?
Absolutely.
I never thought Netflix.
You
No
never thought
kidding.
about that, right? Nothing is safe anymore. Isabel, thank you.
There's something else to think about.
Right.
For more on Isabel's in-depth reporting on the Columbus cyber attack and ways to protect your information, you can scan the QR code there on your screen.